This brief video is on reviewing the rules of operations with rational numbers. Adding and subtracting fractions. When you're adding and subtracting fractions, the denominators of the fractions must be the same. 2/3 plus 5/6. You can't add those as is. You've got to change the fractions so they have the same denominator. Find the least common multiple. Convert the fraction to equivalent fractions with the same denominator. In this case, 2/3 equals 4/6. The other fraction is already in 6. Then you can add 4/6 plus 5/6 and get 9/6. 9/6 in proper form is 1 1/2. When adding and subtracting mixed fractions, you're going to convert each fraction to an improper fraction. Then you're going to use the same steps you used in the last one. You're going to find the least common multiple, convert the fractions to equivalent fractions with the same denominator. So we're subtracting two mixed fractions here. We change them to improper fractions. Then we make sure they have a common denominator. And then we do the subtraction by subtracting the numerators and keeping the denominator as it is. 11/6 in proper form is 1 5/6. Okay, we're on to multiplying fractions. The first thing I would do is look for common factors to reduce the fractions right from the start. In this case, 6 goes into itself once and goes into 35 times. Then you multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. 1 times 27 is 27. 7 times 5 is 35. You're going to put the product in proper form either as a mixed number or in lowest terms if it isn't already. In this case, 27/35 is in lowest terms. Now when you're multiplying mixed numbers, we have 3 6/7 times 4. You're going to convert the mixed fraction to an improper fraction as we did, 27/7. And you're also going to recognize that 4 in fraction form is 4/1. So multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, just like we did before, you get 108/7. Now we have to put the product in proper form as either a mixed number or in lowest terms. In this case, in proper form, it's 15 3/7. When you're dividing fractions, there's one basic rule. The fundamental rule is multiply by the reciprocal. So you're going to change that division expression into a multiplication problem by multiplying by the reciprocal. So we have 6/7 and it's multiplied by 30/27. Now you're going to look for those common factors to reduce the fractions, and you can see that I've done that here. So you end up with 2/7 times 10/3. Now you just multiply the numerators. 2 times 10 is 20, 7 times 3 is 21. If needed, you're going to put the product in proper form either as a mixed number or lowest terms. In this case, 20/21 is in lowest terms. When you're adding and subtracting decimal numbers, you're going to line up the decimal by writing the problem vertically. So here you have it horizontally, 7.14 plus 3.2, and you're going to set it up vertically the way you see here. You may have to add placeholder zeros as needed. So if you have either an addition or a subtraction problem, you're going to do the same thing. Going to set it up vertically and line up those decimals. Then you're going to add or subtract each column as you normally would, bringing down the decimal in line. Notice where the decimal point is, all the way through. When multiplying decimal numbers, once again, you're going to take your problem and you're going to write it vertically as you see here. Now you're going to multiply as you normally would and multiply a 3-digit number by a 2-digit number in this case, as if the decimal weren't even there. Then there are 2 decimal places in the first number, 3.14, and there's 1 decimal place in the second number, 2.3. That's a total of 3 decimal places. So once you have your product, you're going to count 3 places from right to left and place the decimal in the product. So I had 3 decimal places total. I'm going to start over on the right, and I'm going to go backwards 3 places. And that's where my decimal point goes. When dividing decimal numbers, the first number, 4.2, is the divisor, and underneath there you see 3.12. That's called the dividend. So you're going to count and move the decimal in the divisor until it's a whole number, until I get to 42 in this case. How many places did I go over? Just 1. So I'm going to move the decimal in the dividend the same number of times to the right, 1 place. So now I have 31.2 divided by 42. And I divide as I normally would, and that means I may have to put in placeholder zeros, as you see here. But assure that you have copied the decimal point directly above where it is in the dividend. Notice where I put the decimal point. So then I just divide as I normally would and get my answer. In this case, we have 0.743 with a 3 repeating. Okay, that ends this little video on just reviewing some of the operations with rational numbers. Enjoy the activity.